All right, so hi everyone. My name is Brittany Hawthorne. I am a wellness coordinator for Florida Healthcare Plans. So without further ado, I'd like to present to you healthy hydration. So our guest speakers today will be Joe Roulette and Zachary Ames. Joe is a wellness coordinator out of the Brevard area. He has over 20 years of experience in health and wellness, and he works in hospitals, YMCA settings, and he continues to have a passion with group wellness and communications for Florida Healthcare Plans. He holds a master's degree in public administration from the University of Central, and a BS degree in exercise physiology from Temple University. He's a licensed health insurance agent, and he is once again in the Brevard County in the community setting and on various committees, chambers, so on with nonprofits. We also have Zachary Ames, who I like to introduce as our gym guy. So he actually works on the preferred fitness program, our free gym program that we have. He has over 5 years experience working in the health and wellness industry. He comes from the Volusia County YMCA background, and he has a focus in project management, facility operations, and customer relations. He works as a marketing manager and managed accounts, retention, and sales. Through his work, Zach has also been part of numerous community groups, chamber league groups, and has participated in projects across Volusia County. So without further ado, we will start with healthy hydration. Thank you.
Thank you, Brittany. So like Brittany said, this whole webinar is on healthy hydration. So did you know that the human body is 2/3 water weight? Blood, muscles, brain matter, and bones are composed of 83, 75, 74, and 22%, respectively. So water is an essential component of our body and in its ability to maintain nearly all of our major organs. So hydration benefits. So some of them are prevents overheating, it's good for major organ health, improves mood and energy level, reduces frequency of headaches, improves skin softness and smoothness, helps in prevention of constipation, heartburn, backaches, osteoporosis, and like I always like to say, a little bit of a hangover too. So here's some guidelines that are kind of just generalized that really kind of just works well. So water by itself is best. Drink before you go out into the sun. So keyword before. Invest in a reusable water bottle. Drink water when you wake up and when you go to sleep. That one's super important. I try to hit that one almost every day. And then also, if you get thirsty, they say that you're already behind in your hydration status. So we're going to do a quick poll here. So what do you think the recommended intake of water for a woman is? And then we'll also do one for a man as well. So remember, this is daily. All right. So most people said 8 cups. We got 2 people for 11 and a half, 6.3, and one person for 100 cups a day. That's a lot of water. So again, the most answers for man is 8 cups too as well. So let's see what it actually is. So the actual number is 11.5 cups a day. So every day you lose water through your breath, perspiration, urine, and bowel movements. For your body to function properly, you must replenish its water supply by consuming beverages and foods that contain water. So how much fluid does the average healthy adult living in its temperate climate need? So the U.S. National Academics of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine determined that an adequate daily fluid intake for a woman is 11.5 cups. These recommendations also cover fluids from water, other beverages, and food. So about 20% of your daily fluid intake usually comes from food, and the rest actually comes from drinks. So if you want that article, we can also put a link in the chat as well later. So recommended intake for water for a man, most people put 8 cups as well. So the actual recommended is 15.5 cups. So again, the same thing as the last slide. 20% of it usually comes from foods. The rest comes from liquids. So what about the advice of drinking 8 glasses a day? That's what most people put. So you probably heard that advice of drinking 8 glasses of water a day. That's easy to remember, and it's actually a really reasonable goal. So most healthy people can stay hydrated by drinking water and other fluids whenever they feel thirsty. For some people, fewer than 8 glasses a day might be enough, but other people, you might need more. So you might need to modify your total fluid intake based on several factors. So some of those factors are exercise. If you do any activity that makes you sweat, you need to drink extra water to cover the fluids lost. It's important to drink water before, during, and after a workout. So part of several factors that go into it too is environment. So hot or humid weather can make you sweat and require additional fluids. Dehydration also can occur at high altitudes. It's just your overall health. Your body loses fluids when you have a fever, vomiting, or diarrhea. Drink more water or follow a doctor's recommendation to drink oral rehydration solutions. So other conditions that might require increased fluid intake include bladder infections or urinary tract stones. Another big thing too is pregnancy and breastfeeding. So if you're pregnant or breastfeed, you may need additional fluids to stay hydrated as well.
Okay, so as we look at hydration tips, we can have a lot of fun with these next few slides. Choosing foods that are high in water content, they may include any type of melon, strawberries, pineapples, peaches, oranges, but even bell peppers, cucumbers, and celery. You want to order water with all your meals, even if you're not drinking water as your main source of beverage. It's always good to say, hey, yes, I would like to have a glass of water as well. Have a cup of water by your bed. And this is not just for going to sleep, also starting your day off with a glass of water has a lot of benefits and can help fuel your brain for the day ahead of you. Remember, your brain is 75% water and won't be able to function at its optimal level if you don't hydrate. Starting the day off with a glass of water will make your mind feel clearer and sharper throughout the day. So again, this is going to be a lot of fun as we explore the infused water. We can get creative, and I won't read all the different combinations you have in front of you, but just remember that sometimes, water is just not enough. It can be a little boring as we want to prepare for our hydration. Just drinking water just doesn't cut it. And sometimes you have to try infused water to kind of change and mix things up. Just remember, the longer that you rest the fruits or whatever you have in your water, the stronger the flavor is going to be. So within about 15 minutes, you'll get a light and mild flavor of whatever you put in. However, if you want to try to go a little bit longer, maybe go 30 to 60 minutes, I'll give you a little more of an impact. You can also try using fizzy water or sparkling water. So, for example, my favorite is pineapple and coconut. That's what I enjoy doing. However, if you could put in the chat, what kind of concoctions do you make? Is there a mixture that you have that's special to you, whether you do it in the morning before you go to bed? So please take time to go in the chat and let us know, and you can share with the group what kind of water are you drinking as far as adding any infusion into it. So as we look at the ongoing debate of sport drinks, and there's going to be an ongoing pros and cons. So as we look at the pros of sport drinks are going to be that they replace your electrolytes. We know that by drinking just plain water, it doesn't always increase or doesn't at all increase your electrolytes. So the benefits of a sport drink can be the replacement of potassium, calcium, magnesium, but also the sport drink can also just replace lost fluids. You need 1.5 cups to 4 cups of liquid for every hour of exercising. And it really depends on your intensity, in really how much you sweat. Okay, so here we go with the cons. So everything's been all positive up to this point. But as we look at the cons of sport drinks, we do know that they can be very high in calories. And this is kind of defeating the purpose. Often we're exercising and we're doing it for weight control. But here we go, drinking a high caloric water or energy drink, and it kind of defeats the purpose. And then also I think we're very well aware of the high sugar content that some of these sport drinks pose to us. The sugars can give us greater endurance, and it can really help us during those long exercise sessions. But the high sugar content can actually delay the absorption of liquid. So if you're working out for an hour or more, it might be something where you're looking at sport drinks, but anything less than an hour, and if it's really not very high intensity, you may want to just stay with the water. So just a quick story. I was asked to give a very similar presentation to delivery drivers who worked in a beverage plant. And at 5 a.m., I did my presentation. And these are the men and women who drive and do the displays at the supermarkets. They showed me what they had in their cooler, and a lot of them had Coke and soda, or Pepsi, Coke products, and their sport drinks were just very high in calories and very high in sugar. So my recommendation to these drivers were ditch the soda, get a lower caloric and a lower sugar content energy drink, and definitely add some water into your cooler as you leave the plant every morning. Okay, so as we go on and we look at dehydration, now we're kind of turning, looking at the other end of the spectrum. If we don't hydrate, and what happens if we're dehydrated? So I like to compare the two. So if you look at this slide, it compares an ankle sprain to being dehydrated or experiencing heat illness. So if we look at the ankle sprain, it can be an acute injury. It can be first, second, or third degree. But no matter what the severity is, typically we get off of our feet, we put one leg up, we may ice our ankle, we're finished, finished our activity for the day. But dehydration is different. It's a very slow, gradual decline from a moderate to a severe heat illness. And what happens here is that we often try to work through it, and we just want to keep going without stopping. And so oftentimes we don't stop until there is actual trouble. So just a very common case study. This is something very common in the summertime, but here in Florida, this is an ongoing issue. Just a basic case study of a 44-year-old male. He's performing yard work, and he just ignored the signs of dehydration. Forgot to drink water before going outside to mow the yard. And pretty much right away, or within the first 10 minutes, became thirsty, and he neglected to hydrate. Noticed a red rash on his skin, yet wanted to plow through it. Well, I'm gonna just keep going, finish up, and hey, I'll drink some fluids when I'm finished. But also, all of a sudden, he developed leg cramps and had difficulty walking back into the house. Fortunately, and eventually, he was able to sit down in the air condition and was able to drink water and rehydrate. So my advice to this is to use the saying, failing to prepare is preparing to fail. You really have to be prepared, get all your ducks in order if you're going to go out to the hot sun, and if you're going to do some exercise, be prepared and hydrate.
All right. Do we have any questions or anything in the chat, Brittany?
We did have a question in the chat, although Carla answered it. So the question was, just in case anyone didn't see it, the question was, is fizzy water just as hydrating as flat water? And the answer is yes, it is just as hydrating as flat water. Sparkling water hydrates you just like regular water, but with the sparkling water, it will Some may include sugars, so you would like to choose one without any added sugars or other sweeteners.
Yeah, I actually just read I just read an article the other day about this, and they were actually testing, basically, does it reduce the hydration levels of it? And essentially, they don't. There's really no science behind it, and I believe that was through the Mayo Clinic. That I guess, there's really not really any substantial evidence that sparkling water, fizzy water, any of that stuff actually reduces the hydration levels of it. So I will try to trust what they say, at least.
We have one more question. Are seltzer waters like LaCroix good for you to drink?
I think, kind of like Carla said earlier, it really does kind of boil down to if there is, sweeteners or sugar added to it. I know I personally like with the sports drink kind of thing. I'm not exactly sure about LaCroix specifically, but I love Propel. Instead of Gatorade or Powerade or anything like that, I usually try to do Propel just because it does have electrolytes in it, has flavor. So it adds a little bit of flavor to the water, but it has no sugars added to it. So I know I've always done something like that. But LaCroix, I mean, that's a good question. I can definitely look into that and see, it, the variance of that.
Yeah, so I drink LaCroix. And yes, they're good for you. They don't have any sugars. It's just the flavor of the beverage. So they are good for you. They can be used as hydration. I believe I read a study myself saying that the sparkling water actually can like kind of jumpstart your taste buds, and it kind of gives your brain like, oh hey, like this is something different. I like it, instead of drinking flat water all the time. Although flat water is just as beneficial if you like that. Just another way to get in more water into your diet. All right, wonderful. Well, thank you all for coming. Once again, if you have any questions about the webinar, please contact us at wellness@fhcp.com. And if you are the winner, check your chat. If you are the winner, please contact us at wellness@fhcp.com. Thank you all for being here today. We will see you next month. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.